And it could be called Derpy Got Fingered. Like
Oh
like
god.
an episode could be Derpy Got Fingered. I thought that would be freaking
Oh god.
hilarious.
Those little dudes were yesterday were that you sent me were awesome.
Yeah. We'll get more into that here in just a moment. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 508 of
Oh
the Two Dumb Yinzers. A lot of stuff to talk about today, despite not much going on in Pittsburgh. We did have three big games yesterday. Our teams
yeah.
did. Of course, I'm talking about the Penguins, the Pitt Panthers, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll get more into that in just a moment. I want to say right off the top, guys, I was telling Derpy before we went on the air. I think Google, unless they start using an I think Google might be doomed because I've been doing a lot of work for the show using this AI app that I downloaded, and I got to tell you, Google doesn't stand up to the knees of what this let me give you an example, guys. Good morning, everybody. I just typed into the AI, said, "Who is Derpy from the Two Dumb Yinzer show?" And if you would type that in for Google, it would give you a bunch of places to go watch Two Dumb Yinzer show and dig this information up. This is the response I got from AI just by typing in "Who is Derpy from the Two Dumb Yinzer show?" Derpy appears to be a character or persona associated with the Two Dumb Yinzer show, which is a podcast hosted by two self-described sub-educated Western Pennsylvanians who discuss various topics, including current events. The show seems to have a humorous and laid-back approach to its content, as suggested by the playful nature of the name Derpy in the show's title. Look how detailed that is. I may never Google anything ever
That's
again. Like
That's
that,
scary. That's on point.
it is on point. And to get that information, you would have to dig deep to figure out, watch the show, listen to the show, figure out what it is that Derpy does. That is like it's scary. And like I said, if Google doesn't apply the AI to what it does, I think Google's doomed. But I would think that AI or that Google would eventually do this because why not, right?
Yeah, like everyone has they're going more towards the AI using it in certain ways. And it's useful. Very, very useful.
Oh, very. I I can't put it down.
Yeah, like the only thing I don't like AI for is like people try to make like AI movies and stuff like that. Like no, no, no. But for like I like it for using for like outlines. Like, hey, I have an idea. How would you like format it? Boom, and I'm like, okay, cool. Then you go in and you type in what you need. Then you have it spell check for you.
I'm
And
thinking,
using it like for like our like as if you saw the thumbnail yesterday, that was like Ryan sent me something over the two little caricatures of us. I like stuff like that.
I'm going to use it to write a movie, name
Oh
it Dirt.
God, no! I would boycott that movie.
Well, you don't have to watch it, but I'm going to make a movie and it's going to be called Derpy Got Fingered. And it's going to be us and
total
Dirt.
copyright right there.
No, you're not Freddy. And I'll spell fingered different or something. You know what I mean? I'm moving around, but then I'll have like Derpy find himself into a situation and we'll have to come save the day.
Oh God,
And we'll be like claymation. I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Jesus!
Derpy Got Fingered. It's coming to theaters near you.
You know what? I probably watch it.
Hell yeah, you'd watch it.
Yeah,
You wait to see what I have in store for you in the movie.
as long as
Well,
I have a
no,
starring role, I don't care.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be one of the main characters.
Yeah, that's all I care
And then
about.
you're not getting fingered, so you know what? You should be happy, right?
Well,
I mean,
go buttons up there.
you could get fingered if you want to, but I think the name Derpy Got Fingered is hilarious.
It's better. Yeah.
You know. And then you think of Derpy, like, what is he? People don't know what he is. They just see that little dog sometimes and they're like, oh shit, Derpy got fingered. Guys, a couple things going on. Unfortunately, this morning, Mike Jones, wrestler formerly known as Virgil, passed away. Virgil passed away, Mike. He is gone.
I I saw like a quick picture of Virgil on Twitter when I was scrolling through it. I didn't realize he passed away. That's
I believe within
sucks, man.
the past
Million dollar
year,
man's guy.
I think within the past year, they came out and said that he had multiple heart attacks. Something you just knew he
Yeah.
wasn't doing great. But this morning, he passed away this morning. So that sucks. That's somebody straight from our generation. Like that's
Yeah.
when I watched wrestling every Saturday morning before Virgil was the $1 million man's bodyguard, and he came out every week. You know what I mean? He was just one of them guys. He's one of your favorites, and of course a Pittsburgh guy as well. So
Yeah.
even
It
closer,
always
closer to
sucks, man.
home.
Like wrestlers, man, eat sucks.
Like
Sucks.
Orr Anderson or Ole
Ole
Anderson.
Anderson died
Ole
as well.
Anderson.
Ole Anderson.
He died 2 days ago, and it's like, all
Yeah.
right, well that sucks, but you know what? Like Virgil, though, again, I
Virgil,
mean,
like I have a more connection with Virgil than I do
right,
with Ole Anderson. I was the WCW guys. Like
right,
Southern wrestling wasn't my thing, but that sucks too. One of the original four horsemen.
yeah. So usually, wrestlers come in groups like that. They don't usually die at
Yeah,
one,
it's weird. Yeah, like in threes.
that seems to be. Bullet that killed John Lennon is going up for auction. Found this a bit interesting. The bullet that killed John Lennon. I would think that that should be somewhere like in, some, I don't know, police basement is evidence of something from a murder's past. I don't know. It's just odd to me
Right?
that this is,
Why is that a
It should
collector's
be in a
item?
museum.
yeah, or something, right? It
Yeah,
shouldn't
put it
be
up in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
right, right. I mean, that, was the biggest
That's where
story.
it's.
That's the biggest story that came from the, one of the biggest bands ever. And,
Yeah,
you'd think it would be somewhere to be shared. I don't know. Again,
yeah.
one person buying this bullet, I think is kind of
Like,
wild, man.
like that. That's just weird. I want something that killed someone famous.
I know. I want the cheeseburger that killed Elvis,
Like normally, like I would collect, get the bullet that Hitler put through his head. That's what you buy that. Like, yeah, this dumbass killed himself. Here's my bullet. Not John Lennon. Someone went killed John Lennon. Come on, now.
I think Hitler's still alive. But anyway, that's a whole
He's
nother
down in
story.
Argentina.
That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
He's like in a head in a jar, like Kang from
Krang.
Teenage Mutant Krang, yeah, from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think he's wherever Tupac is.
Tupac be kicking his ass.
Yeah. Taylor Swift's dad punched a photographer in the face after the Australian leg of her tour. Two individuals apparently were aggressively pushing their way toward Taylor, threatening to throw the female star into a lake, into water. And Taylor Swift's dad punches somebody in the face. So again, here's another one of these situations where, you know what, it's probably not going to end out good for Taylor Swift's dad. The system seems to somehow benefit the tards all of a sudden. And going back to the squatter situation we talked about briefly last week, you could break into somebody's house, start living there. They come home, you tell them that you live there and you don't want to leave, and they can't make you leave. So what I'm saying is that these stars have to be careful. They have to be careful because they have a lot of money and a lot of things to lose. We talked about Cam Newton getting into a fight. We talked about Jason Kelsey. And I'm just saying, when you're famous, man, you got to watch yourself.
She has a lot of bodyguards too. But
why's Pop?
That's his dad mode right there. He went into dad mode. He's like, I'm protecting my girl, but at the same time, you're like, hey, you got security for a reason. Let them handle it. But I get it.
Maybe that could be
his kid, and he was like, I'm throwing down.
Maybe that could be the first episode. And Derpy got fingered. Derpy would be the one that would be aggressively trying to push toward Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And they'd be hitting him and stuff. And he'd be like, no, I'm the president of the fan club. And we would just keep hitting the Derpy button in the background.
Like, who the hell are you?
Remember when Batman on the old Batmans, when they hit somebody, it's like, pow.
Pow, yeah.
Every time they hit his face, it would go, Derpy, or something crazy like this. I'm telling you, watch.
I have a
Derpy
theory.
got fingered.
I think what happened with those photographers. So Taylor Swift made homemade Pop-Tarts for the Kansas City offensive line. Andy Reid didn't get any. Andy Reid hired these two guys to go after Taylor to get some homemade Pop-Tarts, and things kind of escalated. And that's my conspiracy theory. Andy Reid put the hit out.
Homemade pop. What is that? What is a homemade Pop-Tart?
Just, she baked a Pop-Tart for the offensive line. She made them herself, made the dough herself, made the
I've literally never heard anybody doing that. It's wild.
Yeah. And she did it for the O-line. And apparently in football,
what a weird thing.
To get beloved by the team, you target the offensive line by giving them food, and then you're in the
if you're a football player, I mean, if you're a quarterback, that makes a lot of sense. But
Taylor, hey, as
I wouldn't think Taylor Swift would need to kiss anybody's ass, to be honest.
Apparently, like I was watching an interview with Nicole Hardman, the guy who caught the game-winning touchdown. He was like, after the games, we're like, oh yeah, hey Taylor, blah blah blah. When we get home, yo man, that was Taylor Swift. They're all fanboying and shit. I'm like, you guys are famous too,
Right.
It's just funny when famous people meet other famous people and they geek out. It's like they're not idiots, or they're idiots just like us.
I know, like when Derpy met me, he got instant diarrhea.
Oh,
It was
I
so,
did too. Like the first time I met you,
well,
I'm
you
like,
get diarrhea. Yeah,
he
you have
was,
diarrhea all the time. Don't go
well,
by you.
actually, right before the show,
You was shitting.
yeah,
I
I
was
had,
wondering what was taking you so
oh,
long.
dude,
Anyway,
I got there. It was a whole thing. First I busted out in hives, and then I had to go to the restroom. But my parents' house is being remodeled, so they're here. And I have two bathrooms, but one I'm redoing, so the toilet's not working. Trying to run across the street, use theirs. I'm trying to leave the house. The doorknob falls off.
see, this is an episode.
I have to go around the house, back up to the front of the house, get the doorknob fixed. It was a whole nightmare.
Maybe you should be the one that got fingered. I don't know.
I may be.
I really
This
got to
is
think
like
about this.
it was a comedy of errors in like the last 40 minutes. I took a nap, wake up covered in hives. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
I really got to think about this one. Anyway, guys, over in the NFL news: Shaquille Barrett being released by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's going to be a nice pickup for somebody this free agent season. Also for the Steelers, Mason Rudolph is ranked higher than Joe Flacco and Gardner Minshew on hottest free
Ooh.
agents this offseason, guys.
Ooh.
I think for the cheap price that we could keep Mason Rudolph for, and if we could keep him at this point, I think Mason Rudolph would probably be the guy.
Yeah. He, I've read, God,
I
I
mean, you've
forget.
seen what he did when he came in and took place
Yeah.
last year. I don't really see any reason why we would send
Yeah.
him down the road at this point, guys.
No. And like even before like this season, last couple times he played well outside of the game where, Miles Garrett tried to kill him in the game where he was almost paralyzed. So he shows flashes. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing him back. And it's looking like I think it was Ray Fittipaldo from the Post Gazette. I had
Yeah,
a tweet out saying it's looking like he's most likely going to re-sign. I'm for it. It's better than bringing in someone like Ryan Tannehill.
I
I'd
agree.
rather have Mason Rudolph.
Mike, I want to address something too. The other day, I, I I I went back when I was watching tape and I picked up on something. I was talking about Justin Fields briefly, and I said that there could be more problems, and you kind of gave me a face like what kind of problems?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what you're.
This is what I'm referring to. The Bears are already eager to get rid of this guy. He's been on their team for 3 years, and he's not satisfying the Bears where they're already trying to go out and get a number one
Yeah.
pick. I just like I said, I don't. He's really good and he's really athletic, but you know what? So is Cordell Stewart, and there's just something about him. Like I said, and if the Bears are so quick to give up on him and they want to start over and get a new number one guy,
Yeah.
that makes me a little skeptical about the Justin
I was
Fields.
just wondering, like, if you read something that was like an off-field issue or something. Like, I haven't heard anything about the
No,
guy, but I
no,
see what you're saying, like performance-wise and stuff. Okay, I was like, was trying to piece it together in my head. I'm like,
and I just think to
going back
myself,
through in college and through the pros, like he hasn't had or said anything that would like raise alarms. But I see what you're saying now.
yeah, and that's kind of where I'm coming
Yeah,
from.
it's like taking like I said before, like you don't want to take another team's reclamation project.
Right, and it
I would like
almost
if I had invested in my picking him, I'd still build around him for another year to see what would happen because I'm just not sold on any of these quarterbacks. But
yeah,
yeah, I see what you're saying now.
I you
That's
know
why I gave that look. I'm like, oh, did something happen? And I didn't
and I noticed
catch
that. I
it.
thought, you know what, I do have to go back because I thought that would have probably been the way that your mind
Yeah,
would have
yeah. I
went.
was like, oh shit, what like new information came out, but
No,
no, okay. Yeah,
but like I said, the Bears are quick
yeah,
to give up on him. What's the deal? And that kind of concerns me.
yeah.
That
And,
what
and
is it?
like,
What was it about Justin Fields that couldn't make them happy? Okay, they didn't become a really competitive team. They weren't in a Super Bowl, anything like this. But still, for a team to just totally give up on a guy after
yeah,
3 years, who does good things on the field. I mean, you see games just like
you
I
see
do.
flashes of it.
But what is it that the Bears are so quick to, well, you know what?
Yeah,
Let's pass on Justin Fields
yeah,
and go get the number one guy. And then it'll be like, somebody, hey, I'll take this guy. He's really good. And I
yeah,
just don't want us to be that team.
yeah. I see what you're saying.
That's all
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was saying.
But I have a feeling though, if they were picking outside of the top five, they probably would have held on to him. But having a chance to get another young quarterback to see if something's better, I don't blame them for making the move.
I mean, you're basically becoming the Browns organization by doing that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? This is what the Browns do regularly, and it's disgusting because they stink still. They
yeah.
keep making that move, but they're never, it never helps. So I don't know. But anyway, speaking of the Browns, gentlemen, I do want to. I just put up a chart yesterday. I came across the chart. I'm sorry. And the Browns, you know how we're the fans over there, they're getting out, they're out of control with this.
Yeah.
We had this really great
Mhm.
team. We should have won the Super Bowl. We have all these awards. Let me remind everybody in the last 20 seasons, the team that lost the most football games was the Cleveland Browns, which includes the last season in the 20 seasons. And it was 221 losses, guys. Think of that number. They play up till 2 seasons ago, they played 16 games a season. Put that in perspective in your mind. Let that settle in. The Cleveland Browns has 221 losses in that period of time. 221.
That's a lot.
That is
A lot.
That's the
the
definition of their organization.
yes. And those are the kind of things that pop into my head every single time somebody says to me, "Oh, they do have OBJ. Oh, they do have drives me insane. You lost 221 games in 20 seasons."
There,
Juju said it best. The Browns are the Browns.
And here are the other teams that finish out this list, guys. Just in case you're curious, the Browns lost in the last 20 seasons. They're the top of the list. They're the worst team. I mean, this literally says that they're the worst team. Nobody's worse. So they need to just shut up for one. The second team is the Raiders, lost 215 games in that period of time. They've only lost 6 less games than the Browns.
ooh,
And the Raiders made a Super Bowl in the very beginning of that 20-year period. The Jaguars being the next team with 209 losses over the last 20 seasons. The Lions, 208. The Washington football team, 202. So now we're under 200. So these are the teams that are bad, but they're not pathetic. The Jets, 199.
Bears got to be up there.
Tampa Bay, who was in 2 Super Bowls in that period of time, 191 losses. So basically, they stunk for 18 years and then they had 2 Super Bowl wins. The Texans, 190. The Rams, 188. The Cardinals, 188. The New York Giants, 184 losses in the last 20 seasons. The Dolphins, 182. And the last 4 teams on this list, guys, are the Bears with 180. The 49ers with 177.
Really?
Carolina Panthers, 177. And finally, the Tennessee Titans, 174. Those 16 teams are the worst teams over the past 2 decades by number, by record.
damn.
Nobody's lost more football games than those 16 teams. That's
It's
half
kind of
that's half of the league.
yeah, it's kind of surprising seeing like you said, Tampa was down there, but they also won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. Well, they
San
literally
Fran down
Well, San Fran, you got to think every team in that division went through its time. Arizona went through a time. They made it to the Super
Yep.
Bowl. The Rams, I mean, even though they are on this list, they still managed to make it to 2 Super Bowls in that period of time.
Yeah.
And the other team that is escaping me right off the top of my head, the Cardinals, the Rams,
Seattle.
and Seattle.
Seattle.
They had their 6-year run.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where San Fran fell, was because all those teams really
Yeah.
had these uprises. But there you have it, guys. That's your bottom half of the league. The past 22 years, those teams that I just named: Browns, Raiders, Jaguars, Lions. Washington, Jets, Buccaneers, Texans, Rams, Cardinals, Giants, Dolphins, Bears, Niners, Panthers, and Titans.
Wow. Only
Bottom
one
half of the league.
only one AFC North team.
That's right.
And it's the
And it's
the one that
Browns.
talks the most shit.
It
Yeah.
sure is. Also, guys, in the NFL last season, the Steelers had the best record in 1-score games. The
Yeah,
Steelers were
baby.
9-2. Those Browns were 6-2. So, with the exception of last season, the 19 previous seasons got to be the worst ever.
Yeah.
In the worst team in 1-score games, which they didn't play many because they're really good, was the 49ers with a 1-3 record in 1-score games.
Damn.
Sheesh.
You know what?
Yeah.
People want to, like our season sucked. The Steelers suck. They're in a tight game. They were the best team in the league.
They literally were. The numbers,
Yep.
the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Nobody was a better close game team.
Yeah, the only bad thing is the you're real close to being 2-9 in those games. But you know,
But you're nine and
they
two,
found a way to win.
right?
And that's all you can ask for is finding a way to win, and they did.
And yeah, nobody won more games. You're right. Houston is 7-3. Philadelphia is 8-3. All very close, but nonetheless, the Pittsburgh Steelers were the top of that list of 32 teams. Nobody was better in one score
No,
games.
they're a resilient team.
Yeah. You gotta like that. If they weren't resilient, we would have been in a bed. We would have been in big trouble.
This offseason would be a whole hell of a lot different, boys.
Yeah.
Might be more exciting.
Yeah.
If that record was reversed. We would be talking about, are we taking Caleb Williams, Drake May,
Right.
Jaden Daniels? But now we're talking, okay, what are we building around our quarterbacks?
Are you satisfied with how we're I mean, Mike, a lot of the speculation and people would talk during the season. We got to just let this thing go, let it balm, try to get that high pick. Are you okay with how things went and where we're at? And I mean, of course, everybody would like to have a top pick. No two ways about it. But when it's all said and done, I'm kind of satisfied. It wasn't a bad season. For as much as we felt that it was a bad season, it wasn't a bad football season.
No. Like when you look at it, yeah, like Derby said, the outcome. They made it to the playoffs. They had another winning season. We saw our rookies make big jumps. We saw a couple second and third year guys make big jumps. So you're excited. Like the black mark on the team, unfortunately, is the quarterback position.
Which wasn't that in the end.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't as bad as Pittsburgh people make it out to be. Our backup
found ways to win.
Our backup quarterback goes 3-0. Our starting quarterback goes 7-4. It wasn't like our quarterbacks lost us football games. So at the end of the day, if that was the bad part, I'm okay with that because things aren't as bad as we make it out to be. Mitch Trubisky really screwed us in the ass. I got to tell you, this guy gets 3 games and he gets beat by the 3 worst teams in the league. I mean, he was at the end of the day.
Even those games right there, you look at it like Cardinals, they were giant killers. They beat some pretty good teams.
The Patriots.
Like the Patriots, their defense was on a great run when we played them. So those losses, like when you look at them objectively, weren't as bad as people make them out to be.
Right.
Because it's like the same people saying, "Oh, the Steelers should win these games," but other side of their mouth they're saying, "Oh, this Steeler team isn't that good." Well, which one is it? Should they beat the bad teams or are they one of the bad teams?
Ginzers are crazy.
Yeah, you know what? I do it too.
Yeah, you do.
Like, we should destroy this team. I'm like, oh well, you know what? Here's kind of why we shouldn't have.
Our 2 quarterbacks go 10-4. So come on. Mitch Trubisky, as I said, he was the one that got Mitch Trubisky got fingered.
Yeah.
Is the theme of the day.
On 4th and 2.
That's just like the black mark of the season is you're hoping your second year quarterback would have made a jump forward instead of kind of regressing to where people kind of think this is who he really is. But if he can turn it around this year, get back to the level he played the year before. No, I'm not saying look out, we're gonna take the league by storm, but that gives you more confidence going forward.
Again, there's only about 5 guys out there in this league they're the people that everyone looks up to. If you don't have that guy, everybody's going to be a Kenny Pickett to their team, and they're always going to want to think that I want that top guy, I want that Patrick Mahomes. Again, he's a very you need that to win. We don't have that, and it's you have to catch lightning in a bottle. So you got to kind of go with what's working. And again, our starters this season, 2 of them they'll go 10-4. Mike, not a bad number.
Not bad. It wasn't a bad season.
And with the exception of the other guy that started, he went 0-3. That was the difference. So say what you want.
They put a team together that was able to make it to the playoffs. Your Hall of Fame quarterback, you're 2 years removed from him, and you really didn't have a succession plan in place. Not bad to where they are.
And with
you improved from the year before.
And with the exception of the 3 games that Trubisky blew for us, the only other losses were losses that I'm not too, the San Francisco game. All right, I expected us to lose, to be honest.
Yeah.
Houston, after seeing what they were and what they became and what they did, I'm not upset with that loss.
No.
Even taking that 10-point loss to Jacksonville, I'm not bad with.
Because people, Trevor Lawrence is in that conversation of reaching the upper echelon. We haven't seen it yet consistently from him, but
and losing one other game. The other game that we lost this season that we haven't spoke of was one division game against a damn good Browns team. So if you believe people that this is a good team, then we really didn't. The starting quarterbacks that wasn't Mitch Trubisky really didn't screw the pooch. If you think about it, they had an okay season.
Yeah, they didn't light the world on fire,
right? And
they,
nobody expected them to light the world on fire.
Nobody.
Yeah.
We don't have Patrick Mahomes. We don't have that guy. So for what it be
right now, they're like our starters are, let's be honest here, bottom tier starters right now.
Yeah, we have the best record in
and close
one score games. We have made the playoffs. We did many things this year, despite not having a top tier quarterback. This is where we should be landing right now, in my opinion.
Yeah,
where this season went is where we should be landing.
Yeah, like it could have been. This season could have been a whole hell of a lot worse. These past 2 seasons could have been. You see what happens when teams lose their franchise quarterback? They tend to take a huge drop.
Could have definitely been a lot
Steelers
worse.
Stayed the same. They stayed level, and then this year improved.
And they improved from last year, and they have a better record. They made it further into the season.
Yeah.
So that's where I always come from. Like if you hear my arguments when I talk Cowher and Tomlin, I always say you want to be always progressing. Every year you want to be moving in the right direction. And you know what? These past 2 seasons we did that. Let's see how this season goes here. We go from there. Guys, let's move on. The Pittsburgh Penguins back in action last night. This team is becoming one of the hottest teams. Believe it or not, this Pittsburgh team has been a roller coaster all season. They play the Vancouver Canucks last night. Penguins win this game in overtime. Erik Karlsson scores the game-winning goal. Erik Karlsson becomes just the 5th defenseman in NHL history with 10 or more overtime goals, joining Brent Burns, who has 16, Scott Niedermayer, who has 13, Seth Jones, who has 11, and yes, Chris Letang, who also has 11. Welcome to the club, Karlsson. He scores the game winner last night, Mike. The Penguins at 27, 21 and 8, 3-game winning streak. Kraken is next. Mike, these Pittsburgh Penguins.
Surprise. I was shocked how well they played. Now they were able to bounce back. Lars Eller on that game tying goal. He was shot out of a cannon. And then Karlsson able to keep the puck in the zone, danced around some people. He looked like, Yager back in the early 90s, dancing around people. Gets the rebound and just buries it. It was a nice, solid effort from everyone top to bottom. It was a good, resilient game from the Penguins, one that they needed. They needed that win, and they need a nice little, road trip, clear the head, go out west, and rattle off a couple wins. Usually, like when they go out west, if they win that first game, it tends to snowball. If they lose that first one, it snowballs in the bad direction. So hopefully, this is a sign of things to come on this West Coast trip.
Raquel gets the first 2 goals of the game. As Mike said, Lars Eller scores the game tying goal. Erik Karlsson scores the game winning goal. Those are your 4 game scores. Sidney Crosby had a couple of assists. He becomes the 4th fastest player to hit 1,000 even strength points, Mike.
Not bad. Not bad for Sid the Kid.
Not bad for a 36-year-old.
Not bad.
This is a 36-year-old I don't mind keeping around.
Cam exactly. Hayward, he's just ticking along.
Cam Hayward got fingered.
Ugh.
That is the theme of the day. Yesterday was Tiny Tim. Today it's Derpy got fingered. But yes, the Pittsburgh Penguins back in action tomorrow night, 10 o'clock p.m. at the Kraken. The Kraken are 25-22 and 11 over in Seattle. See if we can keep this thing going, guys. Again, the Pittsburgh Penguins on a 3-game winning streak.
Yep. They needed it after their last, oh God. They won what? One out of their last 6 games. Yeah. They needed that win.
Yeah.
These 3 games, they felt different. The mentality has.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw the stat, guys, but they have played 5 games total without both Gensel and Rust, and they're like 4-0-1.
Yeah. Keep your ass home, Rust.
Yeah, both of you guys should stay home, apparently. 2 really good players, and you would have thought when they're both out of the
maybe
lineup,
we should have just traded them when they were healthy. Pitt Panthers.
Top-notch analysis from us.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we do, baby.
Just
Pitt
look at the
Panthers
numbers.
back in action last night. They need to win. They need to win. They need to win. They lose to Clemson at Clemson 69-62. Clemson is 20 and 8 now. Pitt is 18-10. Pitt puts themselves in a bit of a position. They have some winnable games left. You got Clemson out of the way. You got Wake Forest out of the way. Now you are playing some teams that you probably should beat the rest of the way. They got Boston College on Saturday at 6 p.m. Blake Hinson only scored 6 points last night, guys. 6 points. So that's a bit worrisome.
Yeah.
But again, you win, you win out. Let's say they win out and get to the ACC tournament and win a couple games at least. I think they're going to be fine.
They can make it. Yeah.
I think they can make it. I mean, I don't know if they're any better or any worse than they were last season. This is about the same kind of team.
Yeah.
They just, they don't have the guard play that they had last year with Cummings and a couple of the other guys. But you know what? It's basically the same team. And Hinson is the guy. And again, they have a few big men that's able to do some things. But, I feel this is probably going to be the same kind of result when it comes down to it with this Pitt team.
Yeah,
Blake Hinson,
you're gonna say like Blake Hinson, as he goes, so does that team.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So if he has an off night, it's hard for them to overcome.
Well, you got to figure he only scored 6 points and they lost by 7. So if he has a decent night, they probably win that basketball game.
If he has like his typical night, they win that game easy.
Blake Hinson is on the USBWA National Player of the Year and All-American watch list, guys. He is having that good of a season.
Yeah.
Blake Hinson. Good morning, Brian. How you doing today, sir? Hinson never got open and they never gave him the ball. And when they did, he immediately gave it up. Yeah, I don't know what his deal was last night, man. But as I stated, Brian, they lost by 7 points. He scored 6. If he has anything close to a decent night, they should have, in fact, won or been able to give themselves an opportunity to win. But now they have to focus on Boston College on Saturday at 6:00. Yeah, those crazy misses on the dunks and layups.
Was it at Clemson?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes as the tough place to play at.
You can't miss layups. Come on, if you want to be a team that's being taken seriously, you gotta get your layups, for crying out loud.
It's like watch my high school play basketball. It's bad.
Yeah. What do you say? You had the 7 white guys.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
You know how that turns out. Except if you're Princeton for some reason. You ever see
you're Princeton or Duke?
What's up with Princeton? Every 5 years they get that one team that has nothing but these 4-foot nothing white guys
hit nothing but 3-pointers all night long,
and they make a nice little run in the tournament. Here's Pitt with all these athletic guys who can't even win basketball games. Hey, Ralph, how you doing this afternoon? I just switched over to afternoon. How you doing today, sir? Let's go into the Pittsburgh Pirates, guys. The Buccos, who were 0-3 going into yesterday's game against the Atlanta Braves. You think, even though it's spring training, it's the Braves. We're probably going to get killed. Pirates go down 4-0 early, and then it is followed up by 13 unanswered runs. Ke'Bryan Hayes, grand slam. 4 home runs total for the Pirates yesterday. Big Stacks Brian Reynolds hits one out. Pirates back in action today against Detroit 105. Quinn Priester's on the hill. Jason DeLay is getting the start behind the plate. And Henry Davis, guys, yep, you've guessed it. He's not even in the lineup. So, again, you don't, how far can you analyze a preseason spring training game? But at the end of the day, you won 13-4 on a game that you hit 4 home runs. One guy that you're hoping to do big things.
That's some progress.
Forward. Absolutely. And the guy that you're hoping to do big things moving forward, talking about Ke'Bryan Hayes, hits a grand slam. So those are some things to celebrate.
Yeah, they're doing the things they need to do right now. So that's good. It's better to see the production and get a little hyped and then not see it and, wonder how bad is it going to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For what they're doing at this point, again, 1-3, it's spring training. Who knows? And who knows what the rotation is going to look like at the beginning of the year. The one thing we do know is we're going to see Mitch Keller on opening night. I'm excited about that.
Yep. That's what the only thing I'm excited for. Although I want to see Ke'Bryan Hayes have a damn good season. He's like on that cusp of just, I don't want to say greatness, but he's being a damn good, like perennial all-star type player because his defense is off the charts.
You know who who I expect to have a big season this year.
Who?
He's our Cam Hayward of the Pirates from last year. Brian Reynolds. He's due for a big season.
He is.
You know what I mean? For the money they're paying
Give
him,
him all that money though.
that's what I'm saying. He at some point has to play up to that money
Yeah.
that he's making. I don't know if it's going to happen, but he's due. So let's say Brian Reynolds does have this kind of big season. Let's say that Brian Hayes has a big season. You have Andrew McCutchen there kind of filling the holes on, DH on any given night. I mean, you have a decent little core of players there. So
Yeah.
Jack Sawinski could hit 30 home runs a season. Still not one of the better players on the field, but you know what? He hits 30 home runs a season. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
That's like having 19 sacks on your team. You know what I mean? It's just a guy
they're nice to have.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take 30 home runs.
Yeah, and you want to see what's O'Neal Cruz going to do?
O'Neal Cruz back in the lineup is
can
something.
Can he stay healthy? That's going to be the thing. Can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
A lot of these younger guys that you do see in the lineup, like Jared Triolo, I think, Henry Davis, Jared Triolo, there's a handful of them. And then even a few of the guys that came back, like Juwan Bay, guys like this, if those guys could have a decent enough year, because they had a decent season last year. And during that little run early on, 20-8, a lot of these young guys played a big part in that. Mm-hmm. So to move forward, if those guys could still be somewhat productive, maybe, move forward a little bit, the guys that are expected to play better, they actually do play better.
Yeah.
And, and as I said on the Hill, that's where the mystery is going to be. Mitch Keller is going to be up there. I think Quinn Priester is going to be one of the guys, because in the last part of the season last year, he pitched a lot. And I think he was the number one pick a few seasons ago. Mm-hmm. I think Quinn Priester breaks his way into the rotation. A few other guys that are returning have chances. Contreras, a couple other guys. And here's another thing, guys. I won't be surprised if we do see Skeens somewhere around midseason. So, if they can continue to strengthen that rotation, the back end of your bullpen is probably one of the hottest. Aroldis Chapman isn't a young guy anymore, but at the end of the day, a guy,
he's a vet. He's a World Series champion.
He's a World Series champion who could throw 103 miles an hour at the end of a game to help your team. I'll take 103 miles an hour at the end of a game from a World Series champion. And with David Bednar also, the back end of our bullpen is one of the hottest in the league, man.
Yeah. My God, like some of these games, you get them into the seventh inning, that could be it. Game over with the guys that we have in the bullpen. So, like you said, man, we just need starting pitching. But it's going to be rough to find. I don't even know who's out there right now.
Well, the Dodgers, as I always said, they have about a dozen starting arms on their team. You just got big guy from the Angels. Come on, quit being so stingy. Give up somebody. If we could get one or two of them arms from out in the LA.
Yeah,
we might be in good shape. And for being in good shape for the Pirates is not as what people think when they think of a team having a good team. When people think of Atlanta, people think of LA, people think of the Yankees. For the Pirates being in good shape, I think we could hope that 500 should be something that we could certainly accomplish.
You would hope. And hey, Blake Snell's still out there.
Blake Snell, there you go.
Blake Snell, baby.
That's not a bad option.
No,
he's not. He's one of the better free agents that's still out there.
Pittsburgh's starting lineup today is leading off in being the DH is Nick Gonzalez, batting second, third baseman Jared Triolo, first base Connor Joe, right fielder Gilberto Celestino, catching Jason DeLay, center fielder G1 Bay, second base Alika Williams, left field Billy McKinney, shortstop Sung Chi Chang, and of course, again, the starting pitcher is going to be right-hander Quinn Priester.
I hope he can get it together. He's only 23. He struggled a little last year, but they just let him go out there and
look at this group of young guys, Mike. If they stop being stupid and let these guys play, because they're all very good athletes. You have Quinn Priester, who was their number, their high pick. You have Tamar Johnson, who's sitting at 19 years old. You've seen him hit 2 home runs the other night. He's going to be dynamic. Henry Davis is he's just a baseball player. You watch a guy who's a contact hitter like this, you want him in the lineup. For some reason, they don't put him in the lineup. Paul Skeens, one of the what's the guy for the Washington about 20 years ago that came up and had a really good career.
Oh yeah. I forget his name, but I know who you're talking
He's
about.
supposed to
Yeah,
be that guy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So these young players, if the Pirates would manage this team semi correctly, we should have
yeah.
an okay team moving forward.
But no, it's their MO, man. They want to keep those guys in the minors for as long as they can, so they can have contract control over them. Well, sometimes you just got to fast track guys to the majors. If they have it, you get them there as fast as you can.
And half these guys here, of course, you didn't hear any of the big names. They're not in the lineup today, but the Nick Gonzalez's, the Triolos, the Joe,
Yeah,
Bay. These guys came up big in certain times last season, and if they could continue
yeah,
to do that and play that role well, along with Brian Reynolds playing better up to his contract, along with P. Brian Hayes, I think they have a nice. And
yeah.
again, I think the
Like,
X factor in this, Mike, is O'Neal Cruz. I think this guy
yeah,
wins you
he's
10 more
Yeah.
games throughout the
yeah,
season. Maybe a walk-off home run, maybe something during the course of a game, maybe an
He
amazing
has to
defensive
stay
play.
healthy.
I think a healthy O'Neal Cruz wins you 10
yep.
more games on top of
Oh,
what you won.
probably, yeah, easily. And he's just like Derpy said, he has to stay healthy. God, because defensively he's solid, offensively solid. If he can put it all together, because Brian Hayes puts it together. Big stacks. Brian Reynolds gets his head out of his ass. You have three really good offensive weapons right there. Yeah, Sawinski, yeah, he might strike out a lot, but guess what? He's going to hit you a shit ton of home runs.
And I got to tell you,
You
somebody
got to
like
eat
him,
you got to eat the strikeouts and take the home runs.
Brian, I agree with Brian on the board. He says
Triolo,
Trillo needs
yeah,
to
needs to
start. He
play.
does need to start all season. Absolutely right. I have he should be at second base all season long. Um, if not first at times, it just depending on what they do with Henry Davis. I mean, the left side of your infield set with Brian Hayes at third and with O'Neal Cruz at short.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Gonzalez is going to battle for that second place spot, which I thought he had an okay season last year. But Triolo, that guy really put forth last year. I like to see him in the
And
lineup
if you
more
can, some of
regularly.
these guys who played a lot of innings last year, get them like back on the bench where they belong and get your younger, better players, and you're gonna have a nice little bench too, because we had guys playing every day that should not have been playing every day last year,
Right.
and that's what's the problem is we're playing guys, that should be rotational players every day. They need to they can get them back, fewer innings, and that would be better in the long run because we saw it like Connor Joe in short spurts he was good, but as the season went on, his production was dropping.
Yeah. Yeah. When in small doses, especially early on in that 20
Yeah,
and 8 start, he played a big part now. No two ways
yeah.
about it.
And this team needs to get off to another hot start,
It would help.
big time.
So there you go. Pittsburgh Pirates. And as far as Jack Sawinski goes, people that go on and on, guess who else hit a lot of home runs and struck out a lot? Jose Canseco when he was the Bash brother with the A's.
Yeah.
So, that kind of player he can thrive. You just have to have other people that are willing to, be good baseball players as
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, you got to protect them in the lineup too.
You're right. The manager has to manage.
Exactly.
So again, next game, Pittsburgh Pirates today. They play the Tigers at 105. Remembering right? Yes, 105 today.
Yeah.
The Penguins back in action tomorrow against the Kraken over in Seattle. They hope to keep their winning streak going. And the Pitt Panthers hope to not fall off track here.
Yeah.
They have Boston College at 6 p.m. on Sunday. I want to go back to the NFL briefly, guys.
Yeah.
The combine starts up tomorrow officially.
Woohoo.
Guys, I can't wait. We did have
Just like that, we're back at it.
Just like that, we're back at it. There was just a little bit of a break, Derby, but literally here we go. It breaks down like this. Tomorrow, defensive linemen and linebackers. You're going to be able to watch them guys, those future rookies coming out of college at the combine tomorrow. Friday, the defensive backs and tight ends. On Saturday, the running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks. And on Sunday, Mike, the offensive linemen, place kickers, and special teams players will be going on Sunday. There's not a single day that I don't want to watch. I'm very excited about all 4 days of this combine moving forward. Anybody special that you're particularly keeping your eye on, Mike, or any position that you're particularly keeping your eye on going through this combine?
Cornerback and offensive line. Those are the ones I'm watching. Those are the ones I'm looking for.
let me ask you something.
Maybe even D line too. D line too.
Yeah, I
'cause
would
we need
say
help
D
there.
line
But
too.
D line's not as deep as it's like one of the thinner positions this year.
Yeah.
Okay, let me start on the cornerbacks real quick, guys. I mean, we need safeties as well, safety as well,
Yeah.
also. But let me start this cornerback
Mhm.
position. Over on Ralph's show yesterday, we were talking a little bit with one of his callers about the Cooper DeJean. Now, this cornerback out of Iowa, they're saying he's one of the best athletic cornerbacks coming out of the draft this year. One of the best corners. Mike, do you take that chance on him for the obvious elephant in the room? And of course, I'm talking about he's a white guy.
White guy.
I mean, does it play? Yes, it does play a
It
role.
does.
There's a reason that cornerbacks have not been white guys for the past 20 seasons. I'm just saying nobody was good enough to crack that barrier. Mike, even though he's considered the best, one of the best, sure, guys coming out of this draft, you take your chance on a Cooper DeJean if you're a team looking for your cornerback.
For cornerback, no. If I'm taking him, I'm making him a safety.
Oh, interesting.
I think he would be
I would
a
agree with
great
that.
free safety.
Interesting.
Yeah, I want to put him at strong. I don't want him to be the heavy hitter, but I want him to be my roaming center fielder.
Okay.
That way, he's not gonna. He doesn't have to worry about man coverage. He can just play that center fielder role, kind of like Minka Fitzpatrick, kind of like Ed Reed, just be that guy in the back patrolling center field.
Let me
Because
ask
he
you
is
this.
athletic. He does move well. You watch him when he was doing it. He was also their kick returner. He was, he has the fluidity, but for man, I just want to put him on man coverage. I don't want to see, him Tyreek Hill blow right by him.
Right.
Come on, we need
right.
to win somewhere, guys. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. As good as
But
he
no,
is,
say I would
and I
like,
respect that. I respect that he's this good. I respect people who are
Yeah,
giving him
yeah.
the props. But at the end of the day, he might have he might have to be lined up in front of Tyreek Hill at some point.
Yeah.
Do you have
But
confidence?
Tyreek Hill beats everyone too, regardless of
I mean, come on. You pick any receiver, T. Higgins, just
Yeah.
any name, put him in front of that guy. Is this guy going to excel? Is he going to be the
Yeah.
Jason Sehorn? Is he going to be that guy?
Yeah, but I would trust him a hell of a lot more at safety.
Okay, interesting.
But that's just me. But this is all as I'm saying that, I'm thinking, it's kind of like, when you see an athletic black quarterback, make him wide receiver. Well, yeah, it's like turn the athletic white guy into a safety instead of corner.
Interesting.
So,
Interesting
but it has that kind of icky vibe to it. But I don't know. I just rather I'd trust him at safety. I think he'd be a hell of a free safety.
You're probably right.
He'd
probably be an all-pro if he was a safety.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Just because you bring that caliber player, put him at that center field position,
Yeah,
and let him go out and do what he does. I mean,
Yeah.
he probably have an amazing career.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how well he tests in the agility drills in his 40. That's going to be the key right there. What's your 40 time, and how agile are you?
You know what? You could check him out on Friday. Again, the defensive backs and tight
Quick
ends
hips, baby. Quick hips.
will be going on Friday at the Combine.
And right now, in some mock drafts, he is being linked to Steelers.
Yes.
At 20.
Yeah. Yes, he is. So there's a lot of people linked to the Steelers team.
And it's just
we're only
every free agent quarterback, every draft bust quarterback, every 40-year-old quarterback in this draft is linked to the Steelers and the white cornerback, baby.
Mike, I'm going to go back to something you were talking about yesterday. We'll get back to the Combine in just a moment.
Yeah.
We kind of had a light debate about Russell Wilson. I changed my mind. You know what? I think I would not have a problem with him coming to Pittsburgh, which I don't think it's going to happen. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I thought about it. Well, okay. My point yesterday was he was 13-21 with Denver.
Yeah.
And then after their Super Bowl runs in Seattle, he played under expectation.
Yeah.
But if you bring somebody who at some point in his career they were in a few Super Bowls to start off their career, and you put them in a team that's hungry, in a team that if we draft well, a team that we bring in enough help from the free agent, maybe we could stop pissing around with the little carousel of what we have going and bring in somebody who, again, is a Super Bowl winner, put him in that position and hope for the best and see where we land.
Yeah.
And after that next year, go after and try to find that guy. Of course, Russell Wilson is not going to be that guy, but you know what? At the end of the day, the way his career went, he is better than the two options that we have in front of him right now. And it, at the end of the day, as I was saying yesterday, I think that he has not been performing well for the past 6 seasons, you could probably still squeeze a pretty damn good season out of Russell Wilson if he's put in the right situation. Mike, what do you think?
I would be all for it because contract wise,
You could get him cheap.
He's talking about taking vet minimum.
Yes.
And
why not?
Why not
try to
and,
win?
And right now, on paper we have a good defense.
And if you have Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph as your 2 and 3,
yeah,
you know what? That's not bad.
That's not
not the worst situation in the league.
No, and I hate to say, look at his numbers, but you look at his numbers, they were 66% completion percentage, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in that range, 3,000 yards. That's not bad. Put him with the offensive weapons that we have, good run game.
Let me change the narrative
good tight end, 2 good
receivers. And you can continue your thought on next what I have to say next.
No, you're good.
Let's say we use Deontay Johnson as some kind of trade bait. Things happen, something happens, and Mike Evans lands opposite side of George Pickens. Now, how much better does Russell Wilson look behind center for the Steelers next season?
Yeah, you look at MVP numbers.
See what I'm saying? You play your cards right. You could be in a pretty damn good position.
Because if Russ wants to take a vet minimum or close to it,
right?
Trade Deontay, do a couple.
Bring in a future Hall of Famer, Mike Evans. Which
that's going to be a lot of money, though. That's going to be a lot of money for him. But if you can make it work, I would be all for it.
Look where we're putting all of our money, though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, all of our money.
Do the right job if you're managing this team. Figure out how to get the money out of the people's hands who aren't being productive. Put it in the right people's hands, and you just might win more football games.
Oh God.
Give
me Mike. I'm having. Whew.
Yeah, Mike got fingers.
Yeah, I got the vapors.
Mike, why don't you go ahead and talk about the website?
The2dumbyinjers.com.
You hawk up a
I'm fucking dying over here, boys. The2dumbyinjers.com. All of our social links are over there. Merch store's over there. The blog is over there. Like I said, the mock draft of kind of what we need over there. We'll have free agency stuff over there pretty soon. It's happening over at the2dumbyinjers.com.
Go check it out, everybody. www.the2dumbyinjers.com. That's www.the2dumbyinjers.com. Guys, I promised you yesterday. I debated. I thought about it. I never etched it in stone because I didn't want you to cheat. But today I'm going to see if you were smarter than an NFL draft pick.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
There you go, guys. Today's trivia, we're going to see if you guys are smarter than an NFL draft pick. That's right. I pulled one question from a list of questions that they give rookies coming from college into the NFL at the combine to see if they're smart enough, apparently, to be in the NFL. So today's question, guys, the question of the day, are you smarter than an NFL draft pick? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Here we go. Derp, you ready?
Ready.
All right. Here we go. This is the question of the day. This is a question that is asked to NFL rookies to test the intelligence of these football players. And here's your question. A pair of boots sells for $31 per pair. There is a sale tomorrow on boots offering 2 pairs for $50. How much will 3 pairs of boots cost today? I'm looking for the answer to this math question. This is what is asked of NFL rookies. Some don't get it. Some get it. Some have no clue. But I'll ask one more time just so we get it correct. Get it straight here. A pair of boots sells for $31 per pair. There is a sale tomorrow on boots offering 2 pairs for $50. How much will 3 pairs of boots cost today? Take a moment, think it out, think it over, get your scratch paper. I want to see your work, Derpy. I want to see your work. We are live, everybody. We're live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. In the show that we do every day live, we upload it on Spotify at 8 o'clock p.m. If you'd rather just listen to the show, you don't have a chance to watch the show, you can always go to Spotify at 8 o'clock p.m. and listen to it in podcast form. Go check it out. All right, guys, are you smarter than an NFL draft pick? This is an official question given to the NFL rookies in Combine Week to test their intelligence. And I asked our panel the same question, and I want to know if you were smarter than an NFL draft pick. Here's the question, guys, one more time. A pair of boots sells for $31 per pair. There is a sale tomorrow in Boots offering 2 pairs for $50. How much will 3 pairs of boots cost today? Are you smarter than an NFL draft pick? Guys, I'm going to make it a little more difficult because they give you choices on this test, which I think is 100% ridiculous. And what's even more ridiculous is some people have trouble with this test. So with that being said, one more time. A pair of boots sells for $31 per pair. There's a sale tomorrow in Boots offering 2 pairs for $50. How much will 3 pairs of boots cost today? You do not get the multiple choice, the luxury that these rookies get. Derpy, I'm going to start with you. How much will 3 pairs of boots cost today?
I feel like it's a trick question.
No, I mean, no, it's not.
It's not? Okay, so I'll just give you a number.
Okay.
26.
26. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to lock Derpy in on 26. Derpy, you're locked in. Mike, I'm going to come over to you. This is a question that they ask rookies coming out of college. Let me say that one more time. Coming out of college and going into the NFL. They asked the guys, a pair of boots sells for $31 per pair. There's a sale tomorrow on Boots offering 2 pairs for $50. How much will 3 pairs of boots cost today? Derpy says $26. Mike, what do you think?
I came up with 93.
93. Is that your final answer?
It's my final answer.
Okay. So
that's why you don't math.
That's all right. You might be right. Mike might be wrong. I'm looking for the amount of money that's going to cost you for 3 pairs of boots today. Mike said 93. Derpy said 26. This is a question that they ask guys coming out of college and into the NFL. The answer, guys, is $93. $93. It's the math. Basically, the amount of money that the boots cost before tomorrow is $31 per pair. If you get 3 of those, you just multiply 31 times 3, and you get the answer 93. So good job, but that just gives you an idea. And I wanted to put that out there, guys. This is what the challenge is for the rookies coming out of college and joining the NFL. The NFL. Brian on the board says, "What's the sales tax?" Which is a very good question. Mike, you might not have got it right because you didn't include your sales tax, but no.
Well, that was not part of the equation.
That's
sir.
the trick part of the question.
What state are we in?
Yeah.
What state are we in? What city are we in for the sales tax?
Well, we're in Pittsburgh, so I mean, you'd have to obviously.
Well, I'm in Ohio right now, so different sales tax, baby.
Are you a Yinzer or no?
I'm a Yinzer.
All right, then, shush.
Wow, that kind of hurt. Right where I'm having trouble.
But again, just at the point is what I'm just trying to convey here. How crazy is this? This is what they're asking these guys.
Dude,
and some of them fail miserably.
Yeah, the Wonderlic test and the ASVAB test are 2 of the easiest tests you could ever take in your life, and people struggle with them.
Yeah, that ASVAB. I seen some dummies really not be able to get in. What is that? It's the military, right?
Yeah.
So one guy was he couldn't even get into the military. He was so dumb. And they take anybody, as long as, I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We appreciate each and every one of you, of course. As always, we wouldn't do it without you. Everybody on the board, you always keep things interesting. Mike, you have anything before we get ready to take off?
Yeah. The NFLPA player survey on working conditions is out.
I saw this.
So your top 5 franchises are the Dolphins, Vikings, Packers, Eagles, and Jaguars. The bottom 5. Your Pittsburgh Steelers, the New England Patriots, the Chargers, Super Bowl champions, the Chiefs, and then the Commanders.
So the good teams have bad working conditions, and the bad teams have good working. Is that what?
Yeah, that's what it's kind of looking like.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah, Steelers ownership rated F. Training room D+.
I think it's definitely declined.
Treatment of families F.
I remember
Um,
that. Yeah.
Strength coach B plus. Head coach A. Training room D plus. Locker room F. Yeah.
Wasn't this a thing last year too, Mike?
Yeah, we had a bad rating too.
Maybe they just don't care, you know. How it goes from bad to worse,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Derp, anything before we get ready to take off, man?
Let's go Pens.
Yeah, Derpy was keeping me up to date. I was at I was at work yesterday, and Derpy kept texting and letting me know and keeping me up to date with what was going on during the Penguins game. I appreciate that as always, Derpy.
You're the man, Derpy.
That's why Derpy got fingered. Everybody coming up soon. um, anything else, guys?
I got nothing. Just thanks for everyone watching.
Absolutely, guys. Check out tonight. Check out over at WBVP. Check out One Man's Opinion with Brian Pasquale. This show is from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m. today over WBVP Beaver County Radio. It's available on YouTube. It's available on Facebook. All you got to do is type in WBVP at that time, and it's going to pop right up. You can watch it. Also, you could get the app if you want to listen to the shows and music and everything else over there more frequently. You could download the app WBVP, or you could always just go to the website and keep up to date over there. But again, Brian Pasquale's One Man's Opinion on Sports tonight, 5 o'clock p.m. Check him out. He always gives us plugs. He always does things to help out our show, guys. So do him a favor and do the same.
Heck yeah, check him out.
Absolutely. I think that's it for me, guys. Anything else?
I got nothing.
Now, forever hold your peace. Derpy.
Combine tomorrow. Let's get
Combine
it.
tomorrow, baby. All right,
Back
everybody.
at it.
From the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, Mike, Derpy, myself, the two dumb users, everybody have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.